Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your legend shenanigans for the day. Tonight we're in the Rattlehead, right? This is pretty sure cut and paste of Omaha, I think, right? So your tier 4 American cruiser, regular tech line. I think there's a premium variant out there as well, and then of course this one is also a premium variant, right? Rattlehead, I think it's from the Megadeth collaboration or something, right? So we're just hanging out and using it. I think I was collecting wind roses or whatever was out there for the time, or hadn't played it in a while, whatever. So it's a fun looking ship, but yeah. So we'll kind of go out wide and play the flank here a little bit. Keeping an eye on this DeGrasse. This is, of course, that class of cruisers that battleships absolutely love to decimate, right? So you do want to try and be somewhat sneaky, try and use island cover, make sure you're not broadside to especially battleships, right? So that's why we're going to slow down as we come around this corner, because we do have a battleship just north of this capture of this Charlie Cap over here. So we're keeping an eye out. We are spotted as well, so I'm assuming there might be a destroyer around here somewhere. We have to just keep that in mind. So we'll send AP at the DeGrasse. I think he turns in a little bit. We get a lot of bounces off of his hull, right? So I'm going to aim a little bit higher and then switch to HE shells with another set with the next upcoming salvo here. And then, yes, we can see that battleship took a shot at us there, but it was shooting HE at us. And then, of course, he missed anyway, so it didn't really matter. But we'll pick on this DeGrasse. We did send torpedoes towards him, so we'll see how this goes. And then, yes, Sword gets himself spotted here, so we are going to divert all of our attention to trying to get rid of the destroyer. We are the tool for the job, right? We've got sonar and pretty fast loading, lots of guns over here, so we're going to just work him as best we can. I want to try and push up into him, but I got to be careful of my broadsides on the other side, as there's a battleship and a cruiser out there, right? But we're able to get close enough to where our sonar is picking him up, so even though he's in his smoke screen, we're going to keep him spotted here. And we get a little bit of help from the guys in the back, too, so that's always appreciated, right? But see a destroyer, when you get the opportunity to get a destroyer off the board, especially early in the game, right, to take those, take those risks. Sometimes it's definitely worth it. We'll switch back to AP on this DeGrasse, and then I'm keeping an eye on where that battleship's going, right? We should be safe for a little bit here. We are being a little risky, but we're watching where the battleship is, right? So I'm getting these nice, hefty penetrations on this cruiser. We're getting Citadel hits, so he's going to go down pretty quickly. But it's the same for us, right? We don't have the best of armor either, right? So we're pretty low on health. We've kind of consumed that resource thus far. And we might even take a torpedo hit from the carrier. Let's leave this. Thank you. It didn't flood. We got a little bit lucky there. And then we notice the Charlie Cap is still getting captured. So there's a good chance that the other destroyer is in here as well. So we've got one more job to do before the end of this game at minimum. Right, we'll send the fighter out to hopefully help deal with these torpedo bombers here, but you usually only get so much out of him. But right, we see the destroyer does get himself a little bit spotted there, so we know kind of the general area that he is. Got to, of course, avoid these torpedoes, and then luckily we've kept this nice, chunky, tall island between us and this that Nevada, that battleship out there. I think if he would have positioned himself a little bit differently, we would not have survived this game, or we would have had to definitely make different decisions, right? But the Geed tries to get a couple cheap shots on us. Looks like he does get one or two hits there, so that resets the cap. So we're starting over from square one with that. But he goes around the corner, right? So now we're completely unspotted. And we're coming up on their carrier, so we might be able to get some shots off on him. I'm just keeping an eye on the minimap at the same time here, making sure that Nevada's not going to have a shot at us. So I'm kind of turning in towards this little island here, hoping that that's enough of cover for us, between us and that Nevada, right, as we try and get some cheesy hits on this Arc Royale here. So we'll keep picking on him. Getting decent damage with the AP, right? The range here is kind of the problem because these shells are kind of arching. But we're still getting penetration, so we do get the kill on that one. And then, of course, this ends up being kind of a bit of a stomp game, right? But we do have three of the kills here on this flank. And, of course, we are low on health, so there's not too much life left in us, depending on what happens here. But we'll see if we can push up and maybe help out with the destroyer, hopefully. And yeah, see, somebody's in here already, right? Enemies capturing Area C, so we know he came back. We do have 37 seconds left on our sonar, is kind of the only issue here. Be nice to have that sonar ready, and then of course, yes, we gotta watch out for the battleship that's out there. And then I do have another game ready for this one, just since this one was short. But we kind of played our flank really, really well, so I wanted to put this one out there, right? Lower tier cruiser play. These tier, like, you know, 4, 5, and 6. I would say is kind of where you learn the hard lessons, where you realize that, you know, you can get. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. You can get really whopped by especially battleships, right? They see this ship type and they stop everything they're doing to come and shoot you, right? But we saw the Geed. We kind of figured he would be sending torpedoes, so we slammed on the brakes there. And then as he gets around the corner here, we managed to just barely finish him off. Most of our shells hit the rocks there, but that is totally fine. That makes for 4 kills, right? There's 1 ship left. I doubt we're gonna get this kill, right? You know, I'm going to shoot the guns and get spotted. He'll probably turn and shoot me, but we'll see what happens here. Right, and the other thing, too, is that he's going to get spotted, and literally my entire team, right, all 9 of our ships are still alive and going to probably shoot him, anybody that's in range, so it's always hard to get those last kills when your team kind of stomps like this, right? But 44,000 damage, not half bad for a Tier 4 American cruiser. And, of course, yep, there he is. Plenty of health. Rocking a pinata camouflage. Checking on the torps. Still going to be out of range for a little bit, right? We're at about 8 kilometers for our range for our torpedoes. It's kind of hoping we'd be able to send him, right? He's taking his shots at somebody else, and then he does get within our normal spotting range, so we might as well fire the guns. And we'll see if he decides to shoot us or not here. Alright, trying to slow down. Hopefully he overshoots if he does fire at us. He's getting he's getting wrecked by just about anything and everything here. Torpedoes coming from all angles. Trying to see if we can cheese the last little bit. See if we can get the Kraken or not here. But yeah, he does take the shot at us. And our Elba manages to squeeze the kill out of him, right? So I'll take a quick peek at the leaderboard. And then I think I have a... what is this, a Bortos game, right? A Tier 6 cruiser lined up for what we've got next. Right, that does put us at the top pretty easily there. 2,600 XP at Tier 4 is pretty hefty. So we'll take that action. 300 grand in credits for that game. Premium always helps out. Premium days always help out significantly there. Especially at those mid tiers. Kind of those are the money earners, right? Yeah, there's the Marblehead. As you can see, I'm still in battle on that one. We may have died early in that game. And then there's the Omaha, right, is your regular tech tree variant of the ship, right? So not too much difference there. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of the stats might be tweaked. They may even not be. They may be exactly the same. They feel the same to me. But using Azure Lane Baltimore here, and have kind of, with these ships, built a little bit more into the AP shells. Right, if you don't have Baltimore, this is really the only difference with her is that particular perk there. So on that third row, you would just use this punch through option instead. I don't really know how much better her absolute ammunition perk is. It's kind of tough for me to tell most of the time. But yeah, just a little bit different characteristics of the AP shells. But otherwise, you could use, I think this is Norman Scott, right? Like, so I just got a Commander Geist on here. I would use him if you don't have, you know, Angela in Baltimore, right? And you could do almost the exact same build here, and then you would just pick punch through for this third row here like this. And maybe beyond range instead of burn it down, right? I've kind of got him set up for, at least with this preset, a little bit more set up for like the HE line of cruisers, the little more, what is it, like the heavy cruisers or whatever that have the, they're a little bit better, like the higher flying bullets that are harder to aim, kind of better off from cover, shoot HE and be HE spammy, right? Fire spam people. So I gotta kind of set up for that line of cruisers, and so that's why it was built like that. But anyway, we'll go into a Bortos game here next. And right, this ship is, it definitely has a pretty hefty armor scheme for a Tier 6 cruiser, but you still are a cruiser, right? So if you're broadside to battleships, they're going to take you out real quick, right? But otherwise, your kind of biggest weakness is folks that know to shoot HE at you and fire spam you, right? We don't get a smoke screen with this like you do with some of the other British cruisers. And then we can see that Zone A is getting capped, and we are not spotted, right? So it's very, very likely he's just on the other side of the island over here, kind of right in the direction that we're looking. That's probably a destroyer over there. Right, so we may be able to push up there and then get him spotted with our sonar through the island. So we're going to try that out. And then we really can't stick our nose out too much further because we got 2 battleships, 3 battleships, right? If you look at the minimap, we got 2 that spawn on our flank and then 1 headed this way from the mid-spawn area on the enemy team, right? So we're going to have to be careful here. We do have battleship back up behind us. However, our destroyer that spawned on our side went the other way, right? He went towards B. So here we go with the sonar, and yep, we're going to pick up the Fletcher with the sonar through the wall here, because that's how sonar works. But yeah, a lot of times with this too, right, I can't go out there, right? I can't go out there because, one, he might see me, you know, if he suspects me coming, or when he does see me, he's going to have, you know, a short distance between us and him for his own torpedoes, first of all. But also there's 3 battleships out there, right? And battleships are going to see a cruiser and they're going to pick on him, right? But there is something to be said about just keeping a destroyer spotted, because a lot of times it kind of puts people into a panic and makes them want to adjust position. So we're just gonna, you know, we're doing some duty here, right? We're doing something valuable just by keeping him spotted for the time being, right? And I'm gonna shoot this sign up just because he was kind of getting close to our being able to spot us in general. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're right at 2 kilometers, right? If he gets within 2 kilometers of us, he's gonna spot us regardless, right? So that 1.9 here, that's the guaranteed detection range for anybody and anything, no matter where you're at. 2 kilometers, right? So he's coming around the corner and he knows where we are. I'm going to send the torpedoes super early, and then I'm going to slam on my brakes and turn away because, of course, he's sending his torpedoes. And it's a little bit, you know, we really could use some propulsion mod on these British ships. But we're going to take 1 torpedo here as we try and back out of that. So we'll damage con that and use a heal, get most of that back, right? So that wasn't too bad. That was worth it to get rid of a destroyer, right? And then we helped out with the other battleship a little bit there. Actually, no, we didn't. I think we must have gotten bounces and didn't actually do any damage to that sign-up because we didn't get a fist medal, right? But now the other 2 guys are moving around the outside here. So we're going to see if we can get the zone capped. We'll prioritize that here. We'll stay hidden here. But sonar is out, right? So we can't see him anymore. At least this first guy. I think that's how we picked him up before. But we're going to assume they're coming this way, so we'll start looking on that side, get the guns over here, get the torps over here, right, ready to go. And then this is going to be, like, a little bit risky, right, because depending on how much angle you're giving up here, if they're ready to go with AP on you, they're gonna wreck me, right? So I'm trying to see if we can just get a little bit angled here. Nebraska's coming in. Yep, he was doing the right thing, but we managed to get enough angle to not die there, right? So we'll take that as it is. And then we'll shoot some guns here. We don't have to worry about our, like, sort of starboard side, right? Both of these ships moved this direction, so we're kind of free and clear here. But he's going to send his airstrike at us. Or it might actually be towards our battleship buddy there. But yeah, we use the single launch torpedo since he's head on, and we'll see. We get quite a few hits there. We got 3 with the last rack. And then we'll see how the other side does here, if we can get those right on the nose too. But that's kind of that is the really nice thing that I like about the single launch torpedoes. Yeah, all 3 hits there, so that wrecks him. He's not going to last long there. Let's see if we can get the kill. We'll use our last heal there. Nope, we got an assist there. Jaeger got him with torps. So 74k damage there. King George has us nice and broadside, but he shoots HE at our allied battleship, so that's good for us. Probably could have been dead there. And we'll just pick on him, right? We only have AP shells with this, right? So we're going to kind of aim like high upper plating, right? Like higher up on the hull and stacks and superstructure and stuff like that to get it the most damage that we can. Yeah, some of those shells that are landing lower are breaking. And then we'll break line of sight here, so we'll get some freebie shots if we can arch over this island. And a little bit. Looks like some of them should make it. Decent chunk of damage there. We'll keep picking on him. But he's not going to last too much longer, right? It's us. We have the Jaeger's over there too, but the Jaeger's probably not doing much of anything to him, right? But we end up winning on points there, I think. Right, so we'll take a quick peek at the leaderboard. And, oh yeah, the enemy team lost all of its points, so, yeah. But we do get top spot on the board there, right? Because we've got the zone cap, and we helped out with the kill and got the defense, right? Like all that other fun stuff. Also, damage against destroyers is pretty valuable as well. But yeah, aiming system mod for Bortos, steering gears, you don't get a propulsion mod option, and then concealment for the slot 3 there. Right, and then we are using Chancellor Gowron, so he was available from a recent Star Trek collaboration, and then I've got Andrew the Lip for more AP shell perks, and then a little bit more range there with the other inspiration. And then we're just picking all AP shell damage stuff because, well, he's only got AP shells, right? The ship's only got AP shells, so. And then refill station, you don't get fully packed as an option with him, so I went with refill station. But that's going to be our video for the day, guys. Thanks for watching all the way through here. We'll end on the Rattlehead here. But yeah, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate that. My logo icon will show up down in the bottom right at the end of the video here. So please do click on it, subscribe, and check out my other videos on the channel. Mostly World of Warships Legends, and I try to do a Legends video every day, so keep an eye out for me there. So if you are subscribed, we will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks again.